right, y'all. Since this topic seems to have us in a chokehold, I have to talk about it again. Okay. And y'all know what I'm about to talk about. I'm about to talk about Cheesecake Gate. But before I do, you know what drinks with real. We got to go over what we're drinking for today. So I'm gonna do something that I never do, which is I'm gonna actually make the drink in front of you guys. Now, I am making something that I've never had before. I mean, of course, I've had a margarita before, but I've never had a Remy 1738 margarita. And there's a story for it, and I'm gonna tell you right now. So basically, I do have some tequila, but it's not opened, and I don't really feel like opening a whole bottle of tequila just to make something to record with. So I got some 1738. Plus, I'm trying to get rid of all my dark liquor because when you're trying to get on your little health journey, dark liquor is not conducive to the waistline. You got to drink your Tito's, you got to drink your tequila, or don't drink at all if you want to, what I'm saying, have that not hinder you on your health journey. And so we're about to drink up all this brown liquor, and then we're going to go back to the stuff that's supposed to be a little bit better for you. So anyway, let's get into our drink. So I have my little, and it's actually a Remy Martin shaker. So maybe I am supposed to make a Remy Martin margarita. But let's get into what we're doing. So we have our ice here, and yes, I'm drinking it out of a wine glass. So don't judge me. We're gonna put the ice in next. We gotta have our margarita nice and chill. We're gonna start with our Remy. And let me look at my eyelash. I said I wasn't gonna call myself out. Um, but you know how we be self-critical of ourselves over recording. So I just told y'all to look at my eyelash, and y'all gonna look at it for the rest of this video. But whatever. We got our Remy. These are 2-ounce cups, I believe. If not, I'm definitely a lush, but it don't matter. This is 2 shots of the Remy 1738. And I'm just gonna make this like a normal margarita. So we'll see. This is triple sec. I do have some Cointreau, but if you know the difference between Cointreau and triple sec, it's about a $28 difference. And I'm not about to put, well, I should have. So this is some pretty, nope, too late. So here's 2 ounces of triple sec. Ooh, I'm gonna have no room in my cup. And then I don't have any sweet and sour. So I got the next best thing, and that is lemonade. Over. And then just a simple splash of roses. There. All right. We got our roses. I'm gonna do one little splash. Go. Y'all didn't see that on camera, but you just gotta trust me. If you drink this concentrated sweet lime juice, you already know all you need is a splash. And hopefully my cup doesn't run it over. Okay. And we got it in our shaker. And I'm not gonna shake it too hard because I don't want all this up on me. Just a nice little, really. Oh, I think I can shake it. There we go. Let's shake it up and get this ready. Now, I was gonna say I'm not supposed to have ice in my glass, but I'm gonna put my ice in my little mini cup. Cause you're not supposed to have an ice or anything when you mix up a margarita. So we're gonna get that out of our glass. We're gonna shake that up. Let it sit for a second so it can get nice and cold. All right, good enough. Okay. You know what? This is not. There we go. And here we are. We're gonna see together what this looks like. Because again, I've never made it with Remy Martin. I have made it with Douce, so pretty much same concept, but we'll see. Okay. A little on the dark side, but that's cool. All right, nice and chill. And salute. Okay. Okay. Might have to put that ask for that next time at the bar. But let's get into our topic. So again, we're talking about Cheesecake Gate. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about this viral video. And this was actually last week. So if you follow my normal podcast that's on Apple Music, Spotify, so on and so forth, you've probably already heard me go on my rant about this topic. I think there has been some like changes to the story, or some updates, I should say, to the story. Um, People are now saying that this was all staged, and I guess it was a clip where the lady has said it before in a different tone, and then it's another clip of her saying it in the viral video. So it's almost like she practiced it before, it was recorded in the main video. And then there's also footage of the young lady and the man on some podcast talking about what happened and why they reacted the way they did. This woman in that video with the green dress and the purple lipstick, she's an actress. I don't know if the guy is an actor, but it's looking like it was staged. But regardless, we got to get on the topic at hand, which is what is the appropriate place, or where is the appropriate place you should take someone for a first date. Now, before I go into my tangent, let me give you guys another update, because someone took it upon themselves to create a list of places women absolutely refuse to go on a first date. Okay. Now it's 28 places listed. So bear with me. You got Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, the movies, your house, any fast food chain, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster, a buffet, IHOP, Denny's, the gym, church, Starbucks, coffee dates, ice cream dates, family functions, movie nights, somewhere that requires a long drive, bowling, nightclubs, hookah bar, a bar just for drinks, Waffle House, and sporting events. I don't know who wrote this because the person's name is scratched out. I don't know why they wrote it. I'm just trying to figure out what is the appropriate place to take a first date. Now, thank God for myself personally. I'm not going on any first dates no time soon. Thank you, God. But I just feel like, where is all of this coming from? Because I remember I was talking to a former coworker of mine, and we were talking about, our favorite steak places, and I listed out three of them, one of which happened to be Ruth Chris. And she's like, "Oh, I don't really do chain restaurants." And it dawned on me, like I kind of thought about it, like, girl, whatever. It's a good spot. They still got fresh food. Does it matter? But I didn't think much of it. And then this comes out, and this woman's talking about, "Oh, I don't do chain restaurants." And I'm like, what is it about chain restaurants? So I go on TikTok, because, anytime you hear people saying something crazy, they probably got it from TikTok. And there's a whole thread of women giving their explanation as to why a chain restaurant is not an appropriate place for a first date. And I'm just completely bewildered by this, because, first of all, America lives on fast food. America lives on chain restaurants. The whole idea of someone creating a concept and having it to be scaled across the US and beyond, where they have multiple locations and they're franchising, like, that's kind of the goal. And if you have something you created and you curate it to something that's popular in whatever state or city that you introduce it to, that's kind of the goal, to be able to get it, in Chicago, in New York, in this place, in that place, because it's a popular, item, and it becomes a staple in different communities. So that's a good thing. Now, I get it. Some of these restaurants are taking too many shortcuts. And what I mean by shortcuts, I'm seeing now, like, places like Panera, TGI Fridays, Applebee's, Chili's, they're not having the cooks in the back cook fresh food. Not like, pretty much, unless it's a salad or I don't know what else, maybe a steak. They are literally taking stuff that is sent to them in a box, frozen, and they have processes and procedures about how to present this on your plate. Now, I used to love me some TGI Fridays, okay? Like, literally love me some TGI Fridays. That sizzling chicken and shrimp used to be my jam, okay? And if you know, back then, you will get it on a sizzling plate with the smoke still steaming. The cheese is all over the plate. The meat is just cooked to perfection, tender. I used to get the little appetizer, whatever you call the sampler, where you get the potatoes, and they used to have real potatoes. It was good. TGI Friday, and they had the best cocktails. But in the last couple of years, TGI Fridays done fell off. So in that scenario, I get it because those potato wedges that they sell are the same potato wedges that they sell at Walmart in the freezer. Those chicken wings that they sell are the same chicken wings that they sell. They pretty much doing like a home run in. I understand you want to bring your taste and your flavor to my house, but it should not be the exact same thing and it should not be prepared the exact same way. So I get that. That's not even about a date though. That's just when a restaurant that you used to love and you patronize and it gave you everything that you want and now they're not giving the same quality, then yeah, don't go there. I get it. But there are other places that are considered chain restaurants that still have cooks in the back, that still bring fresh chicken, fresh steak, fresh like everything, and they're literally cooking it in the back. And to me, that's really the difference in terms of if I'm going to continue to patronize the restaurant. It's not about whether it's a chain restaurant. It's more so like, how are you preparing your food? Is it fresh? Is it something that you bought from a local market? Or is it something that was bought 500 miles away, cooked in some factory, packaged in some plastic, and sent to you in a box? That is kind of the determining factor for me when it comes to sitting down to eat. Now, you know, McDonald's, Burger King, all them places, we're gonna keep eating that regardless. If you hungry, you got to pack a lunch for work, school, whatever, you need something to put on your stomach, you gonna go eat that that pre-frozen beef and all that other stuff. That's just what it is. We probably all shouldn't be eating it. It's definitely making us sick. It's definitely making us fat. It's definitely doing all this damaging stuff to our body, but we're gonna eat it. But I can understand not wanting to sit down at a restaurant and, you know, eat frozen food. You can do that, you know, you can do that from home. So I get that part of it. But there are still some quality restaurants that are considered chain restaurants that I think are completely acceptable, date or no date. Roof Chris. There are multiple there are multiple Roof Chris locations all across the US, but they still serve fresh cooked food. Hooper's Hawk, multiple locations, still serve fresh food. Um, Cheesecake Factory. Now, prior to this past weekend, when I heard this story, I said, what's wrong with Cheesecake Factory? Like, personally, I've gone to Cheesecake Factory mostly in the past. I haven't been in a few years, but I did go this past weekend because of all of this hoopla. Like, I haven't had, you know, sometimes when you talk about stuff and you see stuff, just like with advertising, it makes you want it. I said, let me go get some Cheesecake Factory. Call my homegirls up, and they down, let's go. Now, I've never been a big fan of Cheesecake Factory personally, um, just because their food really requires a little salt, a little pepper, a little seasoning, but it's still fresh food. So back when I used to go to Cheesecake Factory, put your little salt, pepper, get you some Parmesan chicken, some chicken giardiniera, some chicken Madeira, whatever it is you eat, and sprinkle a little salt, pepper, and you good. The best thing about Cheesecake Factory has always been the cheesecake. When back when, I got to go to back when because it's a little different now. Back when you used to get a big old piece of cheesecake, and then the cake part was nice and fluffy, coupled with the creaminess of the cheesecake. Best cheesecake cake you ever had in your life. But I feel like Cheesecake Factory is transitioning from one of those fresh foods to one of these prepackaged foods because, baby, everything I had was nasty. And I'm not one that really go to restaurants and complain, but everything I had on my plate was nasty. I had to take a drink to that. It just was. And I was just very disappointed. Now let's get to the video. The young lady's in the car. Now, this is all scenario. Again, we believe this to be staged. She allows this young man to get out the car, come around. She's already on live and she's ready to humiliate him. That's already a red flag. Don't do it. It doesn't matter to me that, you know, if a person takes you somewhere and you don't want to go there, that's fine. Like, some people have their preferences. If you have, you know, you give the guy autonomy to plan the date and he goes somewhere that you don't like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being vocal and saying, honestly, I appreciate the thought, but this is not a restaurant that I usually frequent and I do not like their food. There's another place, you know, 5 minutes away that I think would be great. We can try it together. And you know what? I'll treat. You know, That to me is like the way you would want to respond to something like that. Even if you don't want to treat whatever, that's optional. But the girl was an hour late. She did mess up the original plan. Not only that, he took his time to adjust the plans to still spend some time with you. And you don't want to go there, which is fine. But then take him out now. Because all of this has just gone wrong and it started with you being late. Y'all didn't have time to plan and find something else. That to me is the courteous thing to do, especially if you like this guy. But the reality is a lot of women are going on dates, they don't even like the person. Like there's a thing that's going on now, and I hate to burst the ladies' bubbles. But it's some hobo dating going on. It's some dating specifically because I don't have no money. I'm hungry. I need somebody to buy me some food. So I'm gonna go on a date with a guy I know I do not like so I can get a meal. And this is the thing. And this is an actual and I think this is what's fueling all of this. Don't take me here, don't take me there. Because if you genuinely are trying to get to know a person, like if that's really your goal to sit down, have a conversation, figure out if this is a good person, good fit for you, it really does not matter, honestly, where y'all go on your first date, right? And it also depends on where you meet the person. But if you meet them online or you meet them where it's a quick 1-2 and then y'all exchange numbers and then y'all talk for a minute before y'all go out, it's a difference between sitting on the phone with somebody till wee hours of the night, kiki and having a good time versus being in their presence, right? So you want to feel the presence of a person. So to me, a good first date would be meet me at the park and let's go for a walk. Or an ice cream shop or a coffee shop. I don't necessarily want to eat in front of you. I don't want to see you eat. I don't want you to see me eat. I don't want you to see me licking my fingers. I don't want you to see my little mannerisms. Let's just feel each other out and see, do I even like you in person first? Then you can go from there. That's just my thoughts and opinion. I don't feel like it matters if it's a chain restaurant. It doesn't matter if it's a good chain restaurant or a bad chain restaurant. It don't matter where the place is. If you're genuinely there to get to know a person, the goal is to get to know the person, right? It's not about trying your favorite restaurant. It's not about having content for your next TikTok. It's not about having a cute plate to post pictures to your TikTok or to your Instagram story. Like, that's not why you're dating. You're supposed to be dating to get to know the person. So this whole list of where you should never go on a first date is a bunch of bullshit. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's a bunch of BS because here's the thing. There is no correlation between where a man takes you on your first date and the outcome of your relationship. I'm going to say that again. There is no known correlation between where a man takes you on a first date and whether that relationship is going to work out. Now, if there was some statistics that said 90% of first dates that happen at a chain restaurant end in disaster or end in not moving into a relationship, then it would make sense because statistically speaking, people who start there don't normally finish. Okay, I can support that. But that literally has nothing to do with anything. It's really just something that went viral on TikTok and people are saying, you know what, you right. I understand needing to adjust your morals and your values and your like understanding your worth and all that stuff. I get all that. But your worth don't have nothing to do with the cost of food, right? That doesn't have nothing to do with your worth. Your worth has nothing to do with whether you go bowling or skating the first time you meet somebody. That's not your worth. Your worth is how a person respects you, how they talk to you, how they treat you. If when you're walking with them, are they protecting you? Are they a person that's capable of providing for you? They don't have to prove that by paying for your daycare and buying you groceries. Ladies, he can show that he says it to you. I was watching Love is Blind going back to the first season, you know, Lauren and Cameron. And if you don't know the show, it's on Netflix, check it out. I wouldn't recommend any other season, but season 1 and just follow Cameron and Lauren's story. Everything else, that's on you. But one thing I noticed, and if you don't know about the show, it's basically people start off in pods. You don't see the person, you can only hear the person, y'all talk, and then y'all fall in love without ever seeing each other, and then you see each other for the first time, and so on and so forth. Within 2 minutes of this man laying his eyes on that beautiful woman, he said, I'm going to take care of you. Fast forward 6 weeks later, There at the altar, he looked her in her face again and said, I'm going to take care of you. Now, I'm not in their relationship. I'm only looking at it from the outside looking in. But from what I can tell, the way that man be cooking up some stuff, the way he surprises her, the way he treats her, the way they went from one house to a big ass house, the way she has her space to create content and do everything she needs to do, and he respects for her to have her own space on her side of the house while he do what he doing. He is doing what he said he was going to do. And their first date was in a pod. Okay. It don't matter. Your worth is not tied to whether you go to Fogo de Chao, State 48, or wherever on the first date. That has nothing to do with anything. Your worth is, how does this person talk to you? How does this person treat you? Do they respect you? Do they love their family? How did he talk to his mother? How does he treat his siblings? How does he treat his kids if he has kids? How does he treat the parent of his kids? Some of y'all think it's cute when the man you date and hate their baby mama. That's not cute. Look for things like that. See him in elements that he's not comfortable. Take that man hiking. Go do something that he might, or take him somewhere he could be competitive. How competitive is he? How does he handle rejection? How does he handle losing? It's way more important things to worry about than where your first date is. And then some people say, oh, it's not about never going to those places. It's just the first date. I just don't feel like the first date, it should be a chain restaurant. It shouldn't be a movie. It should be well, what do you want him to do for your for the first date? Russell Wilson, who's a multimillionaire, just took his wife to Waffle House, rented the whole space out so she could get a chicken sandwich. Okay. Waffle House, 2 millionaires sitting in the Waffle House. You go to a restaurant to eat. If the restaurant has food that you like, you order the food that you like and you eat it. It has no indication of the kind of quality of a person that takes you there. There is no look on you, whether it's your hair, your nails, your makeup, your dress, your shoes, that makes you too good to walk in any establishment because you're no better than anybody else. Let me take another sip. I'm getting a little agitated. Ask your married family members. Ask your mother, where was your first date? Ask your aunt and anybody that you consider a couple go. Where did y'all go on your first date? They're not gonna say we went to Nobu. They gonna say we went to Denny's. We can get us something to eat. We went to Starbucks and just got us a couple lattes. We went to his house and laid on the couch and watched movies and ate popcorn. It don't mean nothing. It's about your chemistry, ladies. It's the chemistry. Does this man have my back? Am I comfortable around him? When you're in a relationship with somebody, sometimes that person smack you on your ass at random points of the day. Sometimes they sneak up on you. You can get too close. Can you see this person doing this to you for the rest of your life? Those are the things you should be sensing. Okay. And I would actually recommend don't even go to a restaurant. If it's like genuinely, truly like your first time getting to know this person, like sometimes you might have a friend that kind of becomes more that's different. But it was like a genuine stranger. I really don't want to sit down at a restaurant with a genuine stranger. Because I don't know about y'all, but like I don't eat cute. I'm gonna order what I want to eat. It's probably gonna be some ribs. It's probably gonna be some mac and cheese. Probably gonna be some broccoli. That you already know what that's gonna do. That's gonna get the stomach rumble. Then, as I'm eating, I don't want nobody who just getting to know me to see that. And I'm not gonna be cute and order no salad. I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. We at a restaurant. Save that for date like 4-5. First couple dates, do fun stuff. Go outside. Ask him to take you to a place where he can do his favorite activity. Then the next day, you take him somewhere where you can do your favorite activity. And then y'all just see each other in y'all natural habitat, in y'all natural environment, and see if this is a person you can rock with. I don't know. But let's get back to the original Cheesecake Gate. It's so many people defending, even though again, this is possibly staged, But defending this woman's action, like, well, he shouldn't have took her to this place, and I don't blame her. Y'all just settle for anything. And To me, settling is not what restaurant we going to eat. Settling is like, this man is abusive, but he's nice. Like, I'm just gonna settle for this man who might slap me every now and then, but he has money and he's sweet and he's loyal. So I'm gonna stay with that's settling because you're accepting abuse. If you got somebody that, is like full of crap, no ambition, no goals, doing a bare minimal in life, and you know that you'll forever have to take care of that man, that's probably settling. I'm not judging nobody's situation. I'm just saying. He don't have no ambition, nothing he want to do with himself. No matter what you do, you can't motivate him off his couch. That's probably gonna be a waste of your time. But going to the Cheesecake Factory on your first date, that's not settling. It's getting food at the Cheesecake Factory. Going to McDonald's. You go to McDonald's. Go to McDonald's. If the day that you and this man go on a date, McDonald's ice cream machine is working, you should go to McDonald's and be sexy eating that ice cream cone. Oh, I'm doing too much. But you get what I'm saying? We gotta stop putting emphasis on the wrong stuff. Like, that's the least important thing. When I think about my own marriage, and I'm no saint. I don't think any marriage is really perfect, to be honest with you, but mine definitely is not. Our love story is not perfect. It's flawed, like a lot of people's love story, because we're all humans having a human experience and we are imperfect beings. And sometimes we do things and say things that we don't mean. Sometimes it's the right person, wrong time. Sometimes the wrong person, right time. It's always something going on, right? But I found, or I have a partner that genuinely loves and supports me, right? And that's like everything. When you're a person like me who's a dreamer, who has a million ideas, who always wants to do this and that, but don't always have the drive to get it done, people over time stop believing in you, start doubting you, saying, all right, do something. So when you find somebody that genuinely supports you, genuinely believes you, that means the world to you. When you could just mention something in passing and then you wake up the next day and you have a delivery of what you want. When you have somebody that makes love to you in the way that you want to be made love to, that's what you want to lock down. Not where did we go on our first date? That is so irrelevant and not even important. It really isn't. Maybe people disagree, but I just don't see a correlation. And I tried to do a little, research. I put my Facebook post and I asked a few people, married people, if you've been married or are married, what was your first date? I got IHOP, I got Applebee's, and I got Fridays. And these are people who were married for, either still married or were married for a period of time. It doesn't matter where your first date is at. It doesn't. It genuinely don't. If you're only there to meet a partner for the rest of your life, I promise you, you're not even gonna care about that. This conversation ain't even for the people who genuinely want love. This conversation is for the people that's like on some hobo stuff, on some I don't have money for dinner tonight. Let me call Charles and see if he want to take me out tonight. That's who this conversation is for. This conversation ain't for the people that's genuinely looking for love. Because people genuinely looking for love already know this. I ain't telling y'all nothing y'all don't know. You're not looking for how much money he spends. You're not looking for how much money in his wallet. Yes, it's important for him to have his own money and take care of himself and have the ability to take care of you, or at least get you to a point where you don't have to take care of him. But it's about getting to know, is this my person? That's it. Speaking of, can we talk a little bit about Tyler Perry's advice? I talked about this on my podcast as well, but I didn't talk about it on YouTube. So let's talk about it because I love Tyler Perry. And if we're being fair and in the proper context, we know that Tyler Perry is not talking to everyday women, right? He's just not. That conversation that he had was on a podcast called Keep It Positive, Sweetie. He was talking to Crystal Renee Hazlett, who plays Fatima on Sisters and on Zatima, who is a multimillionaire. That's who he was talking to. Let me take my step. He wasn't talking to middle class women, in my opinion. And if you don't know what he said, he basically said, listen, if you get you a man that genuinely loves you and genuinely cares about you, and all he can pay is a light bill, you should be with that man. He's not talking to middle class women, okay? Because you got to imagine, if you're a middle class woman making anywhere from 60 to 100 something $1,000 a year, which is a decent or good salary depending on your lifestyle, right? But a light bill means that he probably is doing literally the bare minimum. I can give you credit for paying a light bill in the mansion because that's probably about $1,200 a month for real. But in a regular 2-story, 2-bath apartment house, if all you can pay is a light bill, no, that's not what he's talking about. He's not talking to middle class women. He's not talking to middle class women. He's talking to wealthy women, specifically wealthy Black women. Because where he's coming from is saying this: there aren't a lot of eligible wealthy Black men. There's a lot of Black men, but not wealthy Black men. And the ones that are either already married or are not looking to date a Black woman over the age of 40. Let's just be honest. So if these particular small group of wealthy Black women who are single want to be married, they probably have to consider someone who's good and loyal but can only pay a light bill. And I think it's important to remind people what he really talked about, because people mad at Tyler, and I get it. Tyler's a man. It's already bad enough he's a man writing a story about women that a lot of women can't relate to for real. But for him to take that position about what a woman should do is already like, no, you don't have the experience, the right, anything to tell a woman what they should be willing to accept. And I agree with that. But when we talk about women like Crystal Renee and Regina Hall and Regina King and Taraji P. Henson, and these are wealthy Black women who are Sherry Shepherd, who are single. Vivica A. Fox, the list goes on. These are women of a certain age who are wealthy and single. I don't think, this is my opinion, I don't think they should marry a man that can only pay the light bill. That's just my opinion. Now, if she wants to entertain him for her own guilty pleasure, then by all means, do you, boo boo. They definitely don't need a man that can take care of them. But if all he can offer is a light bill, meaning he's nowhere near where you at, he's somewhere making 50,000, 60,000, and you over here getting 50,000 a week, you can have fun with him if you want to. Excuse me. But don't have his baby and don't marry him. And I only say that because of what we see. Look what Halle Berry going through. You know, she's not Black. Look what Britney Spears went through. Look what Sherry Shepherd went through. Look what Mary J. Blige went through. These are wealthy women who entertained, fell in love, and married and or had kids with men who were not on their tax bracket. And when the relationship ended, they either paying child support for 18 years or they paying spousal support for umpteen years. And that sucks. That sucks. So for that group of women, if you happen to hear me say this, love him and do what you want to do with him, but don't you let that man get no paper on you. Don't let him get no contract on you. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. I wouldn't marry him. Look at Oprah and Stedman. Stedman has never embarrassed Oprah Winfrey. You know why? Because he is spending his entire life to get that special friend notoriety in her obituary. He knows if he screws her over, he has no claim, no right to her estate. So his best bet is to keep her happy, keep her loved, keep her feeling special and wanted and beloved in every way, so that he can hopefully get a little something in the will when she goes. but he can't petition nothing. He can't ask for nothing because he do not have papers on that lady. And he ain't once embarrassed her. He ain't left her. He ain't had no kids on her. He ain't did nothing that we know about that makes her embarrassed or put in the wrong light. So she got him where he need to be as a special friend. So that's just my my advice for normal women, everyday women. I mean, I still say for you, try to find somebody equally yoked. If you work a job and he work a job, y'all work a job together. I know a lot of women feel like a man should take care of you and pay all the bills if that's what makes sense for your household. If you and your husband make the same amount of money, he paid a mortgage and you pay everything else, is that really make a difference because he paid the more? Like, I don't understand where people be coming from for that. With that, to be honest with you, you just have to determine: do you want a one income lifestyle? Do you want a two income lifestyle? Do you want a three income lifestyle? Do you want a four income lifestyle? People get caught up on the wrong stuff nowadays. I feel like social media, low key, is like contributing to our mental demise because we literally spend hours talking about nonsense. And that's nonsense. Find somebody that you love and care about. See if they are where you're at or can be motivated to where you're at, or maybe they're in a better position as you. And if you want to be with them, be with them. But I mean, if you wealthy, and I'm talking about millionaire and up, and you even got to be a millionaire. If you make it over 300,000, 200,000, you might not want to marry a man that ain't at least contributing a half of what you have. That's just my thoughts. I don't make $300,000 yet, and I'm black. Let me tell you why. 'Cause God forbid, well, not even God forbid yet. When I get rich, right? Because I'm manifesting it, it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to get going to happen. And my Nigerian roots are going to come to the surface. Okay, I don't want to be offensive, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna be wealthy, right? I'm manifesting it. I'm going to be wealthy one day. Me and my husband was shooting in the gym together. Okay, if God forbid, post wealthy Andrea or Drea, me and my husband separate, I have no problem giving that man 50-50. Why? Because when I had nothing, I had him. When I come up short, he comes and makes up the difference. He supports everything that I need and want and desire. So if I make it, and well, when I make it and become wealthy, and for some reason our relationship don't work out, he deserves half because I wouldn't have what I have without him. But if I'm wealthy and I meet somebody that wasn't shooting in the gym with me, I'm not marrying you. Unless you got 3, 4 times my wealth at that time, I'm not marrying you. I'll date you. I'll let you be a little guilty pleasure, but I'm not putting no papers on you. I don't know why women do that. Stop putting papers on me and it ain't where you at. And also, make sure what he doing to bring that money is legit, because you see that happen with a few women. You saw it with Phaedra Parks. You see it with the young lady that works with Strawberry. What's her name? Cheryl with Steve Harvey. Men who position themselves as having money and having means, and they really doing some fraud stuff. You better start looking at the books. Hey, make sure you legit. But anyway, I said all I could say today. Y'all know what we sipping on. We sipping on some Remy Martin with some everything else that makes a margarita. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I probably will not make this again because y'all know Remy Martin 1738 is not cheap, and putting triple sec and lemonade with that is just not. It's just not. It's just not economical, y'all. Don't do that. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hope y'all like this video. Please comment below. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions on what I said here today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. More content will be coming soon. And I'm going to talk to you guys later. Goodbye.